Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone GMS, who rule well, who teach well, and all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Alright, and honors to you brothers pushing this gospel, this good news the world over in sincerity and truth. I don't want Ratazar, that is to say Lord willing. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So I've got 3 articles I'd like to share with you, man. And it's all basically around the same subject at hand. A lot of these governmental jobs are starting to close. Okay, even security companies as well. Alright. Okay, and I'll put the articles in the description box beneath. Alright. So with the way the economy is going and inflation, people, they can't keep their businesses, alright, afloat. And America's in so much debt as it is, That's why, they're resorting to staff cuts and things like that, man. Alright? So don't be in that mindset that, oh, I have a government job, which is a job for life. Okay? I don't have to worry. I'm set, I'm secure. Okay? Scriptures talk about peace and safety and sudden destruction. Okay? Why you need security? Sudden destruction come. Okay? These jobs, they ain't forever. Alright? This devil is going down, man. Alright, E. So if you're in that spirit of, I've got a job for life, then, you need to think again. Because that can go at any moment. Alright? Don't be attached to this system. Alright? Micah 2:10 says, arise and depart, for this is not your rest, man. Arise and depart, mentally and spiritually. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you're in a high position or not. Alright? You can see that, things are crumbling, man. And if you don't see that by now, then I don't know what to say to you. Alright? Okay. Alright, and all you need is your daily bread. Alright? Alright? Man should not live by bread alone, but every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Roughly paraphrasing. Alright? If I paraphrase that right. Okay? Good thing is, all of a sudden, you can clock into work the next day and your job is just gone like that. Alright? And many more governmental jobs will be going soon as well. Okay? Okay. And for them to just, bring about layoffs like this makes you wonder, something ain't adding up. Okay? So this is from the New York Times. This was put up on the 5th of April this year. So just about 3 days ago, alright? Recent article. It says Trump is on shaky legal ground with mass layoffs at H.H.S, experts say. Job and program cuts at the Department of Health and Human Services have teed up court challenges and prompted bipartisan criticism in Congress. Okay. Excuse me. Thousands of federal workers were put out of a job and dozens of offices were hollowed out as a result of the Trump administration's layoffs at the Department of Health and Human Services. Okay. Yeah. A policy lab that generates ideas to improve mental health, an office that studies the effects of smoking, a team of scientists and public health experts who focus on birth defects. All 3 are programs in the Department of Health and Human Services that were created by Congress, which funds them. And all 3 have been hollowed out by mass layoffs at the agency ordered by President Trump and Elon Musk, the billionaire advisor leading the federal government's cost-cutting efforts. Okay. Since Tuesday, when the layoffs began, lawmakers, medical associations, research universities, and state health agencies have scrambled to sort out which jobs were eliminated and how to respond. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has already admitted that some workers were mistakenly fired alongside nearly 20% of the agency's workforce and has promised that they will be reinstated. Yeah, maybe for how long? Okay. You see? But, we, in this truth, man, we set our affection upon things above and not things of, that's on this earth. We don't get caught up with the affairs of this life, man. Okay? America's birth pains are starting to increase. It's getting heavier, throughout the weeks and the months and the years. All right. Food is going up, bills rising up, homelessness is increasing, crime is ramping up. All right. This is another article from the AOL.com. This was put up just the day after, the 6th of April, Sunday, the 6th of April, 2025. And I did a lesson about the IRS cutting jobs as well. And plan to cut up a quarter of the workforce, 25%, in the next round of layoffs. So yeah, America's through, it's done. It's had its run, man. All right? It's over. The IRS started a new round of layoffs on Friday, beginning with the agency's Office of Civil Rights and Compliance, according to an email obtained by ABC News. Overall, the agency is planning to cut nearly a quarter of its workforce, with the cuts beginning Friday, sources familiar with the plan said. And you still have people hoping in America, you still have 2/3 of our people trusting in the system, trusting in Egypt. This action is being taken to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of the IRS in accordance with agency priorities, according to the email, which added that the layoffs will result in staffing cuts across multiple offices and job categories. The Civil Rights Office will be effectively shuttered by the move, with the remaining staffers moved into the Office of Chief Counsel, according to the email. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3 and 4. Prophecy coming to pass. Right? The grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened. All right? Dark future. The agency has previously drawn up plans to cut roughly 18 to 20% of the 100,000 person workforce by the middle of May, next month. And these time's flying by ever so quickly. In a statement, a Treasury Department spokesperson said staffing reductions that are currently being considered at the IRS will be part of and driven by process improvements and technological innovations that will allow the IRS to collect revenue and serve taxpayers more effectively. The rollback of wasteful Biden-era hiring surges and consolidation of critical support functions are vital to improve both efficiency and quality of service. The Secretary is committed to ensuring that efficiency is realized while providing the collections, privacy, and customer service the American people deserve. The email sent to IRS employees Friday said the reduction in force will be, open quote, be implemented in phases, end quote, and noted that employees will be offered early retirement incentives starting next week. Wow. The agency also recently put approximately 50 IT security staffers on administrative leave. According to people familiar with the move, as the agency faces pressure to make workforce cuts and demands for data sharing across the federal government during tax season. The Trump administration has said workforce changes will not affect staff directly working to process tax returns. Yeah, you wait, man. Wait, man. More of this is going to happen. Okay. It's mentioned in the book of Ecclesiastes, a time of war, time of peace, a time to hate, a time to love. All right. We're in a time of war, man. Okay. But our people still in that mirth spirit, man. It's best to be in the house of mourning than in the house of mirth. Okay. Food and rent is going up. Yeah. Let's get the book of Jeremiah. In the Hebrew, his name is Yeramiah, which means he exalts Yahweh, or Yahweh exalts. All right. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 5, which reads, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." Okay. So we're not in a time of peace, man. We're in a time of fear. All right. People losing their job positions, man, that the work's so hard to obtain. Time and effort gone into work, sleepless nights, okay? Studied all that hard, get a degree and all that to get that position and what have you, and the cutting staff members like that. All right. Women complaining over the internet. All right. And, women crack easily under pressure as well. They are the weaker vessel, as the scripture says, man. Okay. And amidst all this, man, affliction, oppression, different pestilences, wars and rumors of wars are taking place. Okay. The EU were urging citizens to stockpile for emergencies, man. Okay. Over in the UK, you have bin strikes over here. Okay, in the city of Birmingham. You got cat-sized rats, massive rats. Because of all that rubbish that's been accumulating. Bin men not collecting them. They're on, the bin men are on strikes. Okay. So, this devil can't manage things well. You see? And we're at the end. Okay. Verse 6. Ask you now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Obviously, a man cannot get pregnant. Okay, he doesn't have those same reproductive organs as a woman does. All right, women carry the seed of man. All right, so only they can travail. But this is leading into Jacob's trouble. All right, we're almost halfway through the year already. All right, according to Esau's calendar. All right, but yeah, time is flying by. Okay, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he, which is the elect, shall be saved out of it. All right, martial law troops. Okay, mayhem kicking off, chaos happening. Things will be unstable. Okay. And we have to endure through this, man. Okay. We have to endure through Jacob's trouble. And this will be a global trouble too, man. All right. So the whole world's gonna be in Jacob's trouble, in uproar. Okay. But the elect will make it through, man. Okay, this devil's power structure is collapsing. Businesses are failing. All right. And things like that, man. You have to pay taxes, etc., and things like that. You see? So that's where things are heading. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. And verse 12. And it reads, How art thou fallen from heaven? Right? Heaven going into Esau's power structure. Okay. O Lucifer, son of the morning. All right. When you go into the word Lucifer, all right, which is the strong H1966 concordance number, it's Hayalal, the Hebrew word. It goes into light bearer. All right. Shining one morning star Lucifer, of the king of Babylon, Satan, says figuratively. All right. Light bearer. Okay. And the light bearer on the left-hand side are these Illuminati, these Luciferians, man. Okay. The super elites, the JJs, the small hatters. All right. The Jewish people, 13 bloodlines and all that. All right. The illuminated ones, man. All right. These devils have left-hand knowledge and wisdom in wickedness, which really isn't true wisdom. Okay. So this Lucifer is not talking about the angelic, spirit demon Satan. All right. Because Satan is in order. All right. There's order in the heavens. Satan is in order, following the instructions of Yahweh, Yahweh. Okay. He's just an angel on the left-hand side. Okay. So Isaiah 14 and 12, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Okay. And that's right. Okay. So his power structure will be brought down by Yahweh. Yeah. Okay. He is weakened the nations, through his democracy, his false philosophies. Okay. Grape, robbery, murder. Most warmongering people ever, man. All right? He's done it economically too. All right? He has the fatness of the earth, right, through his blessing the sword. Okay? Let's get a precept in the book of Luke, chapter 10. Verse 18. Right, it's precept, and it reads, "And he, Yahushua, said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven." Okay? So this devil's kingdom is falling apart, man. Inflation happening, businesses collapsing. He is in debt in his own kingdom. America's trillions in debt. Okay? Trade wars as well. Alright? That's why they're coming in with all these different laws and regulations, man. Okay? In the last days, man, perilous times shall come. Okay? Let's get another article. Oh. Look at this. DVM360.com. Put up on the 7th of April this year. Veterinarians impacted by layoffs at Health and Human Services. Yeah, pretty much going into the same thing. Alright, the mass firing that took place at the US Department of Health and Human Services on the 1st of April. April Fool's Day. So, yeah. Resulting in a striking number of personnel cuts from the CDC, Center for Disease Control, FDA, Food and Drug Administration, and NIH. The layoffs were set into motion as part of a, open quote, dramatic, end quote, restructuring as part of President Donald Trump's executive order, open quote, implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency Workforce Optimization Initiative, end quote, according to the American Veterinary Medical Association. In a H.H.S. press release sent out on the 27th of March this year, Health Secretary Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy, I'm sure it's Fitzgerald, anyway, Jr., pledged he would cut 10,000 workers across the agencies under H.H.S., which would reduce 82,000 full-time employees to 62,000 when he combined with other efforts including early retirement and voluntary buyouts. According to the department, this will allegedly save taxpayers $1.8 billion per year. Yeah. Okay. So, we're excited to see all this, man. It's brilliant news. Absolutely brilliant. People of the world ain't going to think that, though. Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. Babylon is fallen. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Okay. Verse 2. Now, when John the Revelator was on the Isle of Patmos, the angel came and spoke unto him. And this is what the angel said to the Apostle John. Okay. Verse 2, and it reads, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils." Okay. Now, modern day Babylon is the United States of America. Now, during the time of John the Apostle, when he was on the scene, Babylon was a mystery because ancient Babylon, fell already during his time. But in his present time, now the Lord has revealed that Babylon is no longer a mystery because the Most High has revealed it is America. Okay. Okay. So it was talking, so this future Babylon is Babylon the Great America. All right. Okay. So there you have it. Modern day Babylon is the United States of America. So it's not a mystery, to the prophets today. All right. Who are back in there a lot. You got righteous prophets and false prophets too. Okay. But yeah. So, it's not a mystery, to us in the know, but it was during John the Revelator's time. Okay. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. All right. So yeah, employees are being let off, rent is increasing, jobs declining, cost of living is increasing, crime, uptick in crime. You got more riots, you got more, all right, people complaining, Okay. More strikes. People getting stranded abroad. All right. Planes falling out of the sky and things of that nature. All right. Everything's just crumbling in every sector. All right. System is going down, man, and it has to go down. Okay. Exactly. Let's go to Revelation chapter 21. All right. And verse 1, the new heaven and earth. All right. And it reads, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. All right. Talking about, a new rulership, right, which will be set up and governed under Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Okay. And underneath him, King David. All right. And the rest of the 12 and the elect. Okay. Let's get a precept for that. It should be Romans chapter 8, verse 17. And it reads, and if children, then heirs of Yahweh, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. Okay. So we'll be joint heirs, Lord willing. All right. With the anointed, and reign and live forever, in a righteous kingdom. Okay. Let's just get the definition of heir. There you go. A person legally entitled to the property or rank of another on that person's deletion, death, successor, heiress, next in line, inheritor. A person who inherits and continues the work of a predecessor. Alright? So we're going to inherit what Yahushua has. Alright? That's the Oxford Dictionary definition. Okay. You see? So yeah, no nation will take down this up and coming kingdom ruled by the Israelites, man. Right? We'll go from corruptible bodies into incorruptible bodies. Okay. Go back to Revelation chapter 21 and verse 1. All right. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. All right. And there was no more sea. Okay. So we're in Esau's heaven right now. Okay. All right. And it's a hell for us. And and in his rulership it is declining. Okay. And there was no more sea. All right. Which is referring to, the nations of peoples. All right. So yeah. So he's mandating all sorts of, coming up with all sorts of different mandates. Okay, because he knows he has but a short time. You see, global economic collapse, which is what the elites want, man, to bring in their, new world order agenda. All right. He can't even fund all the employees, in his companies. So he has to cut them short. That's why they bring all these machines in and things like that. Okay. Save them to pay, extra staff. All right. So this job for life thing is a farce. See, these jobs ain't forever, man. Right? And that goes for any type of job, whether it be security, admin, what have you, working in a bank. All right. Any type of job, you see. So this is where we're heading. So that's all I have on that. I'm gonna say shalom.